liberty, and kids. I am your host, Daniel Ferrer from Patriot Kids Foundation. And what we do in Patriot Kids Foundation is that we teach the kids and show them the other side of the history that the school has not taught us and that they have erased, so that they can pick which side they want based on the truth. If they want one side or the other. Because we don't want to impose on kids what they want to believe and what they think in life. It's their decision, and it's what they believe and what history they think it's going to be better to compare to the values that they teach them at home. And that when it comes to a decision, that is the correct decision for their life and for the country. If you want to learn more about my foundation, you can go to patriotkidsfoundation.com. I repeat that, patriotkidsfoundation.com. You can find lots of information and all of our various projects that we are doing right now in the state of Florida. Thank you so much, and with that, let's start the episode. Today I want to talk about our Constitution, and especially the Article 5 of the Constitution. The first days of this month, I was at CPAC, where I had the honor and the pleasure to talk and to meet various patriots that love our country. Among those were Mark Levin and various other reporters. And there are many speeches that were very interesting, where he was talking about how important it is to use the Constitution to say America. So let's hear a little bit about what he said.
To answer this, Convention of States is the only constitutional way to get our country back. And it'll get it back in fundamental ways. We use the Constitution to save the Constitution, as opposed to the left that uses the Constitution to destroy the Constitution. We have 19 state legislatures that have voted resolutions for a Convention of States.
Bravo.
With support only from you. What's it that Biden says, bottom up, middle out? I don't have any idea what the hell that man means by that.
Or anything.
But neither does he. But I'll steal it anyway. It's bottom up, middle out. It's the grassroots, just like the Tea Party was the grassroots. That's what I'm about. That's why I come to CPAC. That's why I don't go to the Republican National Convention or the RNC. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm here with you. And wherever I can encourage people, whether it's Convention of States, whether it's young people, whether it's CPAC, that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I try to do with my books and on radio. But Convention of States is the way. We have 19 state legislatures. We need a total of 34. And the left is starting to get nervous. They're starting to attack the process. They, of all people, saying we're attacking the Constitution. But wouldn't it be nice if we heard here at CPAC at least one damn politician get up and say, I encourage you to support Convention of States, rather than give you pablum about, we're going to cut this and we're going to cut. No, you're not. Because Washington is not going to fix Washington. You're going to fix Washington through Convention of States, Article 5.
Now let's go to that same Article 5 of the Constitution that Mr. Mark Levin is talking about, and let's read it and let's see what it is saying. And it says, the Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on application of the legislators of 2/3 of several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes of part of this Constitution, when ratified by legislators of 3/4 of several states, or by conventions in 3/4. Therefore, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clause in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. What our Constitution is saying is that we have two ways to make amendments. The first one is the traditional way, the one that all of our 27 amendments have been made. It's the one where you need 3/4 of the Congress and 3/4 of the Senate. So it's very easy. But there's another way, the way that we, the people, can be more involved in. That is the Convention of States. What this is saying is that you need 3/4 of the 50 states. We already have 19, it's not that much. But for every state to present and to be agreeing with a Convention of State, what you need is 3/4 of the Congress and 3/4 of the Senate at state level. So, what we can do as we the people is that we can, since those congressmen and senators are at state level, they're more easy to reach, we can talk to them, send them emails, send them cards, send them everything that is needed. That being videos, do hashtags, social media, anything that is needed shall be done. Because Convention of States is the other easiest way to do this. Like I'm saying, we have 19 states that are willing and are already proven to do this because they have the 3/4 of the Congress and Senate at state level. So that is what we need. We need other states that, even though they're controversial, at the ballot box, we can defeat them. Those candidates and those government officials that won't present a Convention of States. It's very easy. Every election, we go to the ballot box and we say, look, I want this congressman and this senator to be my senator so that they can impose and they can approve a Convention of States. But once they're in, remember to do the Convention of States. And for those who are already there, for congressmen and senators who are already there and have been plenty of time there, what you can do is send them emails, call them, and go to their offices, ask for meetings, so that you can tell them, look, Article 5 of the Constitution says that we can also do a Convention of States, which is easier. So all we need is that you and your friends in the Congress and the Senate, wherever they are, what we need from you is to vote for yes for a Convention of States. And if they don't do it, like I'm saying, it's easy. We go to the ballot box and we do them. And we take them out. Because a Convention of State is the only way that we are going to save America using the Constitution. And it's the only way that we are going to save the Constitution by using the Constitution. Not like the Democrats that use the Constitution to destroy the Constitution. If you want to learn more about Mr. Mark Levin, now that we're talking about him, and if you want to learn more about the Article 5 of the Constitution and the Convention of States, you can go to Mr. Mark Levin's book, The Liberty Amendments, Restoring the American Republic, where he's talking about what's happening in our country and how the Convention of States can save and restore our country. Also in the back, he proposes 10 amendments that he would like to see happen with the Convention of States. Here are some of them. An amendment to establish term limits for members of Congress. No person may serve more than 12 years as a member of Congress, whether such service is exclusively in the House or the Senate or combined in both houses. An amendment to restore the Senate. The 17th Amendment is hereby replayed. All senators shall be chosen by their state legislators. Imagine that this book is so great that it also says that when Benjamin Franklin in the Constitutional Convention was also proposing a term limit for federal congressmen and representatives. But they didn't accept it, and he said, "Sir, there are two passions that which have a powerful influence on the affairs of men. These are ambition and avarice, the love of power and the love of money." So, what Benjamin Franklin is saying is that because of ambition, because of their love of power, and their avarice, their love of money, They're going to stay there to keep that roll of money coming in. Imagine that many of our founding fathers were so united on this idea that Jefferson said, because this is tyranny. This is, at one point, this can get to tyranny. And it could destroy this country. Thomas Jefferson said, when the government is afraid of the people, saying when they come there, they do their duty and they leave, then there's freedom. But when the people is afraid of the government, when they stay there and they stay there for years and years and years, then there is tyranny. When they, the government people, are afraid of we the people, then there is freedom. And with that, we have finished the first segment, and we'll be back after this short break. Thanks so much. Welcome back, everyone, from this short break. For those who are now joining us, I am Daniel Ferrer. I am the host of Life, Liberty, and Kids, presented to you by Patriot Kids Foundation, my foundation. Now, in the first segment, we were talking about how Article 5 of the Constitution and the Convention of States can save America, and how our founding fathers had it all planned. And now we're going to talk about what is happening in our country and how this Convention of States is going to help bring back this country. So, with all that, let's start for this second segment. Now going back to Mr. Mark Levin's book, it's a very interesting book. Like I'm saying, I recommend it to everyone. The Liberty Amendments, Restoring the American Republic by Mark Levin. It's very interesting, and it talks how actually the term limits ideas comes from Mr. Benjamin Franklin, one of our founding fathers. That is why it's so important, where he explains a lot of this, because he is, like I'm saying, he's talking about our founding fathers, what they believed about the Convention of States in Article 5 and the Constitution. So it's a different point of view from our founding fathers and from him, which is a very important person, and that is why I respect him and admire him so much, because how much he knows about our history, how much he knows about how we have to bring back our country, and he's dedicated lots of time reading, studying the Constitution. Remember, he's a constitutional lawyer, so he knows a lot, and he's read the Constitution many times, so he knows what's good for our country. As our founding fathers said in their Declaration of Independence, it's something that's very important, and that says that the American people have to take action. It says that those who have the ability to save America have the responsibility and the duty to do it. And it's very important to take action. It's very important to go out and start looking for clues. It's very important to start getting into the education of our kids. It's very important to start getting into the schools, into everything in the school boards, the government, the corrupt systems, the politicians. And when it comes to the ballot box, we have to not elect, and it's something that's human. It's something that happens to everyone, that we elect our politicians and our representatives by how they look. No, we have to elect them by if they represent what we want for America. If they represent our founding fathers, if they respect our founding fathers, our Constitution, and our history. If they represent and respect family. If they represent and respect the education of God in our schools and to kids, and that faith and love in God and the morals and the values and the fundamental principles being taught at home. If they support that, if they represent that, if they believe in that, then that is the candidate that has to be. It's very easy to pick down. You just have to go down their trail. Because if not, we're going to be living the same fairy tale that happens all the time. And when we come to an end, and when the American people wake up and skip the page, it's not going to be a very beautiful ending. Because since we didn't wake up, since we didn't put our country first, our family, and God, and everything that represents patriotism and our history, if we don't put that first, then we're going to pick up this country in ashes. We're leaving this country to go in ashes for the new generations, for the young people, and for kids like me. So it's a decision. Start getting and putting action into our country, or leaving it all to waste. Putting all to waste what our founding fathers did for this country. It's your decision. It's very easy. It's one or the other. It's your decision. It's the decision of those who don't have kids. It's the decision of the parents, of the grandparents, of everyone. That's why it's so important to be involved politically and to be educated politically. Then many of you may be saying, but Daniel, being educated politically and being involved in politics means running for candidacy and going for government, and I don't have time. And no, it's not. Being politically educated and being involved politically means that you are starting to worry about your country, that you start getting out, going to vote every time. It's something very important. And we have to educate those kids. And for those who say, no, but we can't educate kids on politics and on what is happening in our country and all of that because they're kids, they're too young. No. Because what they're teaching us in schools, the theories, all of those theories that they are corrupting the minds of the kids with, those that behind them, like I'm saying, always follow the trail. Behind that, there's politics, because that's an agenda. And the agenda means politics. Politics means the future of your country. So it's very important, like I'm saying, to educate the kids. It's very important to make sure that we talk about what's important, that being God, our country, our family, in that order. Because, like Benjamin Rush, one of our founding fathers, said, he said that, and I repeat this in every episode because it's very, very important. He said that we have to teach kids in public schools, hear this out, in public schools to love and respect God, love and respect the country, love and respect your family, in that order. Because he says without the morals in God, without the values in God, you can't be a patriot. Without patriotism, your country is destroyed. And when your country is destroyed, it becomes the worst enemy of your family. So it's all one collapsing of behind the other domino. It's a whole domino set, and the first few pieces have already tumbled down. There's lots to go, but it's moving quick. So the decision is one or the other. Love your country, be worried about your country and your children's future, or leave everything to waste. That's one or the other. It's very easy. It's a decision that decides the future, not just of our kids, but of our country, and the future of what our founding fathers dreamed of, which is a better union, a better nation. Because in our Constitution it says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. All of these documents, all of this history, is a call of wake up for the American people. It's a call to wake up and to notice that every day, every battle that we fight for this country is to create a more perfect union, like our Constitution says. So it's all up to the American people. It's all up to what we decide today which will be the future of tomorrow. It's the decision of all the American people, not just someone or the other person. No, it's everyone. Because all of us, knowing we're all part of this society, we're all humans, we're all Americans. We have the choice to pick the future for the whole world, actually. Because America is that light of freedom in the whole world. It's that light of individual freedom, of individual rights, of history that pronouns us patriots and Americans. Whoever you ask, America, they'll say the greatest country that the world has and God has ever created. Our Creator created this country for us, for the American people, and for those who are looking at escaping from those places where they have communism, where they don't have freedom, where they don't have individual rights, to come here. Look for a better future. Look for a better future, not for just them, but for their children too. So it's all up to the American people. It's all up to what we decide day by day. Remember, like I'm saying, our Constitution says to create a more perfect union. Remember those words every day. To create a more perfect union. That has to be in our minds, written on the front of our heads, on our foreheads. It has to be written. Because it's the thing that will save America. It is that saying that will make America again, once and for all, that country that our founding fathers believed in. That country that made everything possible today. And also, if we want to be living in this moment, we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have been saying everything that's happening. Thanks to, actually, you have to say thanks to all of this. The American people are waking up and are getting little bits of tiny hot water. Like a frog. If you put frog in hot water and boiling water, immediately, the frog will jump out. But if you put him in water and you go warming it up, warming, till it gets boiling, you won't notice. And when it comes to when you come to see, it's already turned into, the frog has already died and it's already gone, because it has to go little by little. And that's what's happening. So thanks to all of this that's happening today and day by day, the American people are getting little bits of hot water. They're turning up the heat on the boil little by little. So that we don't notice, but there's many Americans, many patriots like Mr. Mark Levin, people that said, and very important patriots of our country, that knew that something was going to happen, like our founding fathers, and created these documents that protect us. And there's others, patriots, that love this country more than all of us, as the love that our founding fathers had. That love for all of those that talk and say what is happening day by day, day after day, again and again. And it comes to a time where the American people think it's boring, but it's not, because it's what is happening in our country. So we have to wake up. We have to start getting involved in what's happening in our country, and we have to start doing and calling for things like the Convention of States. Well, with that, we have finished the second episode for Life, Liberty, and Kids. I hope that all of you loved it, and I hope that all of you have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much, and have a great week.